7 things that need to be fixed in the F1 22 game. Now, let's be real. I think you and I and everyone at home knows there are more than 7 things that need to be fixed in this game. It's not been the smoothest of launches. There are a fair few bugs right at launch, and then, to be fair, quite a few of them have been patched in a patch that came out last week. But it's safe to say there are still quite a few major things that need to be addressed. I'm talking within the next week or so, really. Within 4 weeks of launching the game. These are sort of things that are major flags that need to be, sending alarm bells off to fix this as soon as possible, basically. Because the F1 game account on Twitter did tweet out last week about that first proper big patch that did solve a fair few issues and stability problems in general that people are finding across all platforms. But today, I quote tweeted that with 5 further things. I've thought of then 2 other things that I actually forgot about that actually were nuisances in my Team career mode so far. And on that tweet, so many of you, fellow creators, esports players, Jan Otmir, Tom97, so many of you just what viewing and playing the game replied to that with other things that I've not even come across that need to be fixed in the F1 game. So if you do have Twitter, I'll link below that tweet down below. Go retweet it, basically engage with it. So hopefully the F1 game account and the community managers see it and pass it on to the devs, because a lot of this stuff does actually need to be addressed as soon as possible. But let's get into it then. 7 big things for me personally that I've encountered need to be fixed in F1 22. So number 1 is quite a massive one because it affects every single player that is playing my team career mode, and I believe just general career mode maybe as well, is the AI straight line OP. It is just way too much. They're so overpowered in a straight line. It's so noticeable in Miami. That's the biggest place you notice it, off a slow corner. It's the straight line and the acceleration actually of how their engines wind up. It's so quick, and I've done, and you guys who've watched my series know, I've done so many upgrades to weight reduction, drag reduction, engine power, and only now are we sort of maybe making a bit of ground on AI around us, rivals, team rivals that are close to us. But, we maybe didn't catch it in the preview builds because we thought, oh, okay, maybe they're a bit more racy, the slipstreaming's a little bit different. But no, the My Team car really, really pronounces how overpowered they are in a straight line, and that gets worse the higher difficulty you go up, apparently, as well. Number 2, in My Team career mode, the personnel HQ upgrades do not apply. They don't work, at least on PC, and in my experience, they don't work. I spent 1.5 million in-game money on a fitness center to boost my driver's awareness, racecraft, and focus. Saw none of it. On last year's game in F1 2020, you would have a plus sign and in green next to the numbers to denote the boosting, but you don't get that right now at the moment in the game. I don't know how it is for PlayStation and Xbox, but at least on PC, I think it's been confirmed by some of you guys in the comments below when I brought it up in career mode episodes that right now personnel HQ facilities, they do not apply to your teammate, so your teammate just stays at their base stat, which really is at the detriment of the entire game long term as well, because your teammate then will never grow and grow with the other AI around everywhere, basically, as they do the races. Number 3, now I don't know how on earth this is still a problem at launch of the F1 game in My Team career mode, but again, sponsors don't show up on the replay cameras if you save a replay and watch it later, or just basically at the end of the race. Basically none of the sponsors show up, so it looks like you've got a basic default car. Basically, what's the point of having sponsors in this customization if it's not shown up in the theater mode? And then also, this has been a problem from not just this game, it's been on F1 2021 and F1 2020. Both times they had to patch it and fix it. I don't know why they can't have the patch built into the game as it launches, but that's another thing that's carried over and is another issue that's reoccurred at launch, basically. And I'll move that on to number 4, because it's another issue that happened in F1 2021, is once again quick practice overwears your engine components. Like if you do the mini game quick practice and don't do normal quick practice, basically you're at a disadvantage for just wanting to simply save your time. If you're a more experienced player or you don't have time because of school, work, or whatever, you're at a disadvantage then because the game wears out your engine components. Even if you're a newcomer to the F1 grid, you should not be needing 7 power unit components of one element basically over a season. It just seems a bit bit ridiculous, and it was a problem that they knew was a case in F1 2021. They fixed it. I don't know how the coding's reoccurred in this game and has come back up again. Number 5, there is an issue going around right now with this safety car where the catch up to the safety car or stick to the delta time is glitching on top of each other, and that massively affects any safety car period you have. It seems like it happens towards the end of the race if you have a safety car, but essentially if you've seen it in my career mode episodes, it glitches, so it makes the AI slow down to a non-existent delta time that shouldn't exist because you should all be bunching up to get ready to go to green off the safety car. But the player, they can actually drive through it, so you can catch up to AI ahead of you, then you get stuck behind them, but you've got a 12-second gap to AI behind you because they're stuck on trying to stick to the delta, and then the AI ahead of you, they're like 20 seconds behind the next car because they're stuck, and obviously you can't overtake under yellows, under safety car. So that's kind of almost like a race breaker in a way if it crops up. I mean, it can help you in ways, but I don't really care about the advantage. The disadvantage is way bigger in terms of the overall complexion of the race. That's just not how the safety car should work. Number 6, now this has kind of been a subtle issue in the F1 games last 2-3 games, I would say, but it's so much more pronounced for some reason in this year's game, is the disparity between qualifying pace and race pace for every AI, any team. In qualifying, they just seem to be maybe half a second sometimes quicker than they are over a race distance. Obviously, I know fuel plays into it, but, you know, in terms of relative to teams around them and you as a player, they are half a second quick. The entire grid moves up half a second in quali and then moves back half a second in the race, which makes it extremely difficult to have a consistent career mode where you're trying to maybe get quicker, learn the game, get faster, because you're constantly changing difficulties, trying to find a nice balance with your teammate, basically. And finally, number 7, at least in my own personal opinion, I think the development boosters in practice, whether you do full practice or quick practice, I think they're way too skewed to engine reliability. I've not had one discount on front downforce. I've hardly had any on drag reduction, maybe a couple here and there, only a few at the start of the game on weight reduction, and then a lot of them have been on engine power, ERS, fuel efficiency, and then all these durability upgrades. Now, maybe the game is subtly telling me to upgrade those areas of the car, but we know that the engine is, you know, just as important as the chassis to upgrade, and also you need downforce for the My Team car, so I want to get some discounts on that. It just seems a bit weird that it's skewed so much towards that. Reliability as well, I know that's an important part in the game. They're trying to push it to make some upgrades. Maybe that's the coding subtle way to make you do that, but I don't agree with it. It shouldn't push you to do anything. It should just give you a randomized RNG development boost of upgrades and discounts on the practice. It shouldn't be skewed to one department. So that's, in my experience, 7 big things that for me would change the experience of the game quite dramatically if they fixed them soon. But like I said, in that tweet I did earlier today, so many of you replied. I was seeing replies with issues I've not even come across. So sound off in the comments below. I'll be tweeting out this video, linking to that original tweet as well, just so we can kind of get it all in one place, hopefully. And someone from Cody's and EA hopefully will see it. They generally do have a look, I feel, hopefully, sometimes these kind of things. And we can, you know, just basically nudge them that these things need to be looked at. But yeah, that's been this video, just talking about the state of the F1 22 game. In general, I'm still enjoying F1 22 a lot. You know, the AI are very punchy and raceable, makes it really thrilling. AI and AI battles are really good. The new era of cars, challenging, still trying to get used to them, a little bit iffy in places, but generally quite fun. F1 Life, bit useless. Supercars, a bit useless. But generally, I'm still having fun with the game. But these massive issues, these things that do affect your gameplay quite a lot, do need to be addressed. In a game where basically nothing's changed apart from the new era of cars, well, let's be real, the supercars and F1 Life, no one actually asked for. No one's really using them that much. The new era is the biggest thing they've changed. It's a bit of a holding pattern game, I think, until they swap to a new engine, which maybe is going to be Unreal, I don't know, next year. But for a game that is a holding pattern game, like F1 2015 almost, where nothing groundbreaking happened really, the fact it's launched with so many niggles and stuff is quite disappointing, and I think it just needs to be looked at ASAP. They need to try and steamroll a lot of these issues, basically, to get the game into a good place where people can just simply enjoy the game you've put out. You know, forget about, you know, who's enjoying F1 Life or Supercars, whatever. Just enjoying the game you have put out. They need to steamroll these issues and get them sorted ASAP. If you have agreed with these issues and have come across them yourself, then hit that like button. Let me know in the comments below, like I said, any other issues that you guys have faced that I've not mentioned today and I've never seen in my team career mode, because, you know, so many different platforms might be different. And if you're on your own tier, get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.